The rain has finally stopped, and it looks like Miss Silk is up there guarding the garden from all the waterlogged moles, and hear the chirping frog. She's here to protect the potato garden. This is the time you need a cameraman and a wetsuit. With all the rain we're having, I'm gonna get out the coffee grounds and Epsom salts because I grow organically and don't add any kind of fertilizers. Okay, I poured the coffee in here and I've got the Epsom salts. Have you noticed that since gardeners have started using Epsom salts that the price has gone up? All this rain is washing away the magnesium and what do you call that? Nitrogen from the soil, and that's why your plants start turning yellow, because all the water is bringing the nitrogen and nutrients it needs away. So let's head back to the garden. I actually need some umbrellas for my plants today. It's actually not as bad as it's been in the past. Normally there's raging water standing and flowing everywhere, where, you know, today it's really minor amounts compared to other times. And we're on flat land, so what do you call it? The water is everywhere. You just can't see it through all the grass. But we have a major pathway, a dry creek stream that's not really dry right now. You know, the soil keeps either washing away or building up here. And I think I just lost my roof. The umbrella messed up, but what I'm gonna do is it's already getting wet. Sprinkle a little bit around, but not on my plants. These are the tomatoes. See how I'm like side dressing it, and the water will wash it into the ground. Then over here, the peanuts. You can see the yellowing on the peanuts. They're losing the most nitrogen. I'm gonna lightly sprinkle around each plant. I'm not gonna do the whole the whole garden on camera. I'm just gonna show you basically what I'm doing. And then the hay bales, what do you call it, have helped immensely. Last year I had no blossom end rot and no blight from using the hay bales like this. If you see the soil that it's in the center, it's built up, and then the water can come out and through the hay bales, and by having the grass and straw on top of the ground on them, it keeps the soil from bouncing up and touching the plants. And the soil is what usually, you know, causes the blossom end rot, and it's like a calcium uptake too. So I've got some eggshells that I've been saving, and I'll go ahead and get them also. These are the eggshells that I've been collecting all winter. I used to, you know, put them in the oven and bake them, but I've gotten to the point I just crush them and put them in the window, and the heat from the sun, you know, like sun bakes them, you know, or solar bakes them, so I'm not wasting any energy. what I'm doing is just sprinkling this all over the area. And in its present form, it's not going to go directly into the potatoes or the tomatoes. It takes a long time for it to break down. If I had a coffee grinder, I could do this in more of a powder. But the reason I'm doing this today is after the rain, slugs and snails, will start attacking plants. And when they get, they can get cut on the corners of the eggshells, so it's better to keep them in pieces like this. And eventually, it'll break down and turn into, calcium later on when the plants need it the most. But it's just sprinkle it around everywhere is what I'm doing today. Putting it on everything. Nature's own, or my, not my nature, but you hear that frog? It's like, rabbit, 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 rabbit. There's going to be a million frogs in the next couple days just singing and singing and singing. They do that every time we get the weather, get the rain. Okay, I hope you can see what I mean about, see the yellowing right here on the peanut? It's in need of more nitrogen, so I'm gonna sprinkle, I've already sprinkled the coffee around, and I'm gonna sprinkle the eggshells around. And then tomorrow I'll give it another, if the yellowing doesn't go away tomorrow, I'm gonna go ahead and give it another dose of Epsom sauce. Okay, here on the fence line I've got all my really special hybrid tomatoes and tiny, a loofah plant that I started from seed. I've got garlic growing in the jeans here. The plants, the marigolds and verbena didn't like it in here, so I'm going to plant seeds directly into the plants and, get flowers to grow in there directly. I have to get the sage, not sage, comfrey in the ground. It's doing really well. And then the tomato plants here, I've already got the coffee around them. And then sprinkle some eggshells all over. But hopefully, this will all work out. With having the hay bales like this, last year my garden did really well. All I do is take a handful of straw and put it on the ground and make the rows, and then in between I put the soil and the compost and then plant directly in between the two bales. This allows the tomato to, during times like this, to not be waterlogged. It's not going to drown. All the water is going to come out into the hay bales or straw bales. When we have times of drought too, the straw bales, see how wet they are? They'll wick moisture back into the bed. And so this has worked out really well for me last year. There was no blossom end rot and no, what's that called? No blight. This black that you see here is the coffee that I put around. But as far as soil goes, I've got grass. See the layer of grass here? I've got grass on the ground holding in the moisture, and then straw on top. And this prevents the rain from hitting the ground and splashing back up and causing disease on the tomatoes. The only issues you have to worry about is, you know, like right now something, you know, is biting the leaves, but it's not really an issue right now. You know, things happen, and you know, whoever the predator is for them, you know, hopefully it'll show up and come and take care of them. But I don't use insecticides. I let nature take its course. And what's meant to be will be. Over here's the compost I've been working on since last year. I took grass and put in there, and you know, I added a little of this to it and a little coffee. But I put food scraps and grass and leaves and all sorts of things, and you know, pretty soon, you know, I've added manure to it. Pretty soon it'll be ready, you know, to start using. I've added more grass yesterday, and then I'll add some coffee grounds today. But if you look in the corner there, that's a potato plant. Actually, two or three of them. Two, I think. You know, from potato seeds. The worms, for some reason, don't mess with the potatoes. Look at this worm. Let me see if I can zoom you in. It's like a worm feast in there. Really nice sized worms. But this bed's almost ready to plant. But thanks for watching. Let me cover these guys back up, you know.